Well, hello there folks, and a very warm welcome as usual back to What's for Tea and our wee video recipe for this week. And lots of you like when I say that. It is a video recipe. It's not just a recipe, it's a video recipe anyway. So getting on with today's recipe, we're doing bubble and squeak, and typically you would do this in the one big round, but I'm going to do this in small individual patties because it just makes it easier to portion out. You can have these on their own as I'm showing you here. Just dunk them in a wee bit of tomato ketchup, you know, something like that. They make a lovely lunch, but I would more often than not serve these as part of a main meal, you know, beside something else. These would go lovely with sausages and baked beans because, as we know, baked beans go with almost everything, but they are really nice on their own. I've kept these ones fairly simple. I've used onion and cabbage and potato, but if you wanted to jazz these up a wee bit, you could add something like bacon. So let me go and show you what I've used. As usual, you'll find everything down below in the description box. If you just click the show more, it will bring everything up down there for you. There is no printed recipe, unfortunately. I'm working on that, but at the time of filming, this is just ingredients that you'll find down below as well as on the screen. So I've got some cabbage, that's leftover cooked cabbage, leftover cooked potatoes, butter, I've got some herbs there, and also some sliced onions and some plain flour as well. So go over to your cooker. You want a nice large frying pan, a good glug of oil in there. I am using olive oil and a wee knob of butter. If you use the oil, it will stop the butter from burning. So throw in your onions. You want to cook these nice and slow just until they are starting to colour. So I would do these in a low to medium heat. You don't want them up too high because you don't want them burning and just being raw. So yeah, nice and slow, like I said, just until they start to colour. And when they're starting to colour, I'm going to add a wee bit of garlic powder. You can add fresh garlic if you prefer. I didn't want the wee bits of garlic, you know, the wee bitty bits, so I am just using the garlic powder, or you could use garlic granules. Stir those through and let those cook away for about a minute, and then we're going to add the herbs. So I've got sage, thyme, parsley, salt and pepper in there, but you can adjust this to suit yourself and add whatever you prefer. I just think that combination works really nice with the onion, potato and cabbage. So again, give those a good stir through and let them cook away for about a minute. And now we're going to add the cabbage. I am using Savoy cabbage, but use whatever cabbage you prefer. This is just cabbage I had left over. So you do want to use cooked cabbage, not raw cabbage. So if you don't have any leftover cabbage, just, you know, cook some up. You just have to steam this for a few minutes just to take the raw edge off. So yeah, some nice cooked cabbage in there as well. Give this a good stir through, and you want to let this fry away for about 10 minutes, just until it is warmed all the way through it and starting to tinge on the edges, you know, starting to fry a wee bit. And then you can turn your attention to your potatoes. Like I said, these are just leftover potatoes from the tea the other night, and we're just going to mash these down. You don't need to make these into mashed potato. You still want a wee bit of texture in here. So if you've got a few chunks, that's all to the good. And then we're going to throw in the cabbage and onion and herb mix that we've just warmed up. So just pop that into the bowl with your potato and give this a good stir together. Again, you don't want to go too far with this because you do want to still have a nice bit of texture in here. So don't stir them around too much because you will end up with mashed potato and cabbage. So melt another wee knob of butter in there. The amount is up to you, but I don't think you need too much. You don't want this swimming in butter. You just want to give it a nice flavour, and you know, it does help to hold all of your ingredients together when you go to shape them. I am going to use these crumpet rings just because I've got them and it makes sure that they're all the same size, but you can easily do this by hand. Before I had these crumpet rings, I just used to shape them in my hand and it just works exactly the same way. But whatever you choose to do, lay down a wee bit of flour. You don't need much. This is just going to help prevent, you know, from sticking on your board. I'm going to pop my crumpet ring down and then add in that lovely mixture. Give it a gentle pat down just until the rings are almost full, and then finish it off with another wee bit of flour on the top. And then get back over to your cooker and put some more oil into your pan. Get this up to a nice sort of medium heat, and then you can add in your rings, or you know, if you're not using rings, just pop your patties directly into your pan. I've only got 3 of these rings, so I'll have to release one of these to get my 4th. And then just take your rings away, and they should stand nice and proud and not go collapsing everywhere. So just don't do these in too high a heat, because you don't want them burning and not being warm in the middle, because we're just trying to warm these all the way through, get them nice and crunchy on the top and nice and crunchy on the bottom. So just flip these round a few times, as much as you need to, because it's difficult to know if they are brown on the underside until you start to flip them. And in the beginning, you know, they're obviously a lot more pale because your pan is still heating up, the mixture is still heating up, so you will need to flip these a good few times. They will go nice and dry and crunchy eventually, as you will see here, and they are absolutely delicious. And it's such a simple combination of ingredients. You know, when you think about it, it's potato and it's onion and cabbage. You know, there's not bags of flavour apart from the onion, but they are just so lovely and they just work so well. So like I said, you can have these on their own, and that's what I'm just going to show you here. So just pop them onto a plate when you're happy with the colour you have on either side. And I think these are just fabulous, just simply with some tomato ketchup. Just grab a fork and dig in. I'll just show you what these are like from the back for those that like to see all the way around, and just to have an idea when they go to make them themselves what they should look like, or what mine's look like. Yours might look slightly different, you know, it depends how brown or how toasty you want yours. I think these are toastier. The better, the toastier these are, the better, in my opinion. So like I said, just grab a fork and dig in and have these on their own and be a very happy person. Although like I said, they do go great as part of a main meal as well. I would probably have bangers and baked beans with these, but you could really have them with anything that you would have potato with, you know, in place of your potatoes. So do let me know down below, what would you have these with, or how would you eat these, or are you somebody that makes these all the time anyway? This isn't something I make very often, but when I do, you know, I remember just how nice they were, and I always say, you know, I need to make these more, but you just don't, and then you move on to something else and forget about them. So thank you so much for watching, if you're still here at this point, and a huge thank you to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, to the channel members here on YouTube as well, and I will get up to I will be updating those lists at some point in the next few days, so if your names aren't there, they will be soon. And a huge thank you as well to the folk who have watched, commented, shared the videos. It's all very much appreciated. And for those that have bought me a coffee using the Buy Me a Coffee link, and those that have left me a super thanks donation as well. And I'll catch up with you during the week for another wee video back here on What's for Tea. Take care and bye for now. Bye now.